Well, it sounds like there's a few more weeks to go. The Apostle Paul says that tribulation produces perseverance, and perseverance develops character, and character hope, and hope doesn't disappoint us because the love of God is poured out in our hearts by the Holy Spirit. So we're not meant to persevere like a stoic. We're not meant to grit our teeth. We're meant to draw on this love of God in our hearts. He's the one who nourishes us, helps us through, sustains us by the experience of his love. I'd like to share with you something I've read from an old Puritan called John Flavel. Now, the Puritans got bad press. I know when I was at school there was a hilarious history book called 1066 and all that. And the Puritans were seen as right but repulsive. And their opposition were wrong but romantic. Here's a great Puritan. He was not so repulsive. Actually, a wonderful guy. His book on Providence absolutely helped me so much as a young Christian. And then more recently, his thick volumes published by Banner of Truth. So inspiring. But here's a quote of his, one you wouldn't expect necessarily when you think of the reputation of Puritans. He's talking about drinking on this love of God in the midst of pressure. He says this: ecstasy and delight are essential to the believer's soul, and they promote sanctification. Now that's interesting. They're not distraction, they promote sanctification. Let's just follow what he has to say. We were not meant to live without spiritual exhilaration. And the Christian who goes for a long time without the experience of heartwarming will soon find himself tempted to have his emotions satisfied from earthly things and not, as he ought, from the Spirit of God. The soul is so constituted that it craves fulfillment from things outside itself and will embrace earthly joys for satisfaction when it can't reach spiritual joys. The believer is in spiritual danger if he allows himself to go for any length of time without tasting the love of Christ and savouring the felt comforts of a Saviour's presence. When Christ ceases to fill the heart with satisfaction, our souls will go in silent search of other lovers. That's fascinating. He's saying that to enjoy the love of Jesus, to feel it, to taste it, to know it, to be excited by him, leads to sanctification, because yes, we find God really does satisfy our hearts. And if he doesn't, if we leave it for a season of time without knowing moments of joy and delight, he says ecstasy, we'll gradually go in silent search for other joys, other experiences, because the soul craves something outside of itself. And Jesus can be our joy. In his presence is fullness of joy. That's the whole deal. And in these times of pressure, delay, difficulty, now we can really discover this for ourselves. Make time for it. Get into his presence. Sing his name. Worship him with joy. Draw upon him. He's here. He wants to bless you with his love. God bless you and have another great day.